Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Extend your arms and feel to the tips of your fingers. Bring your arms in.
Hi everybody, welcome to Accelebration. Great to be with you. As you can see, I've got a beautiful and exciting guest here with me today, Banafsheh Sayyad. She's coming to you live from Southern California. I'm coming to you live from Boulder, Colorado. We've got an exciting program in store, so stay with us. I want to start just with a shout out to Banafsheh's Facebook page, the Humanities Team Facebook pages, our Humanities.team social network, the Sign Network, John Raymer, all of these sites that come in through Sign Network. Big shout out to all of you, our Humanities Stream Plus members. Hey, thanks for joining us here today. Got a really powerful, fun program in store for you. So now as we get started, I just want to invite you as Banafsheh and I are talking to throw comments or questions that you have there in your social network window. We're bringing all of those back to our screen right here in the studio. And the earlier that you leave a comment, the quicker we can get to them, hopefully within the hour, because this hour is going to go fast. So don't be shy. If you have things for Banafsheh, be sure to put them in the in chat, and we'll get to them. Okay, let me give Banafsheh a proper introduction here as we get started, and I should also share our theme today is Sacred Dance and the Divine Feminine. So how cool is that? Sacred Dance and the Divine Feminine. I know I've got your attention now. So Banafsheh Sayyad is the creator of Dance of Oneness and an internationally recognized choreographer and dancer, as well as being a spiritual teacher. Banafsheh is a pioneer in a wide array of dance disciplines. Banafsheh's style is an interplay between trance and directed movement. Her dance is precise, yet abandoned and unrestrained, which isn't that interesting that you could put those three together. So we've got a real artist here with us. Dance of Oneness fuses three dimensions, dance and movement, wisdom teachings, and healing to create a unique and powerful spiritual practice. Banafsheh we'll be discussing today her Sacred Dance and the Divine Feminine, inspired by her fantastic program on Humanities Stream Plus. So, and her life. I mean, there's actually a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about. So welcome again, Banafsheh. Thanks so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Jim. Hello to you and to everyone who is tuning in today on this Venus Day. Perfect time to be talking about what we're diving into. Good to be here.
Yes, it is. And Jim Gray's in the studio with me, and I'm Steve. So Jim's feeling welcome too here. So thank you. In fact, at the end of the program, I'm going to pull back and you can see both of us right here in our studio in Boulder, Colorado. We are coming to you live. So Banafsheh, first let me share something I think you know. The way that we came to know you is through a good friend of ours, Andrew Harvey, who we work with, where we create programs with Andrew. And as we were telling him about all of the work we're doing and as it's unfolding into this future where we're making conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040, he says, oh my God, embodiment is so important. You must be working with Banafsheh. And we said, well, as a matter of fact, we're not. And he said, well, then reach out to her in my name. And we did. And this is how we came to know you. And as viewers will see, if they're not already familiar with your dance and your work, it's really stunning. It's very powerful. Boy, as we talk about embodiment, you're just such an artist because it really is such a beautiful form of embodiment. I can see why Andrew said you must track her down. So let me just ask you here as we get started. You shared that of your upbringing. You were just telling me a little bit as we were talking before coming on the air. How did you go from, as a young girl, into this beautiful artistic expression, dance of oneness, of love, etc.? What was your journey?
Well, I'm from Iran. As I was growing up, I didn't really receive dance training, but for as far back as I can remember, I had two passions: one for the divine, and who is this divine? What are we doing here? Why am I here? And for dance. And over time, they came together, and dance became my way of communion with this divine energy that I felt from the very beginning of my life, that it existed. But as I was saying, I didn't receive formal training because dance is frowned upon in my culture, a culture that is influenced by religion, Islam. Dance was not something that my family saw fit for me to pursue, even though I come from a long lineage of performing artists. So I just I found my way, basically, as a young person. I trained myself, just did things, and with quite a discipline that I adhered to every day without having learned it from anyone. So that was, and then the dance, once we immigrated here to the United States from Iran, then I felt like I could actually pursue what I loved. And I started with flamenco. So the journey, what the form Dance of Oneness is really my journey through the different forms of dance and spiritual teachings that I pursued in my quest for the divine and communing with the divine through dance. So in a nutshell.
Wow. Beautiful. Isn't it interesting that people that seem to grow into the genius in their artistic expression or science or whatever it might be often don't have any formal training? Einstein comes to mind, Nassim Haramein comes to mind, these are, of course, scientists, but so it's almost like there's a genius there that just wants to sprout and grow into its fullness, and it doesn't want to be informed by some rigid sort of processes that would maybe actually stunt the growth rather than further the growth.
Yeah, that's actually what my mother says because when I wanted to pursue dance as a career, and I did receive formal training, but I started at 18. I didn't start, as a tiny person and everyone said, "Oh, how can you make dance your career? You didn't start from when you were like, 1 day old," this sort of thing. And when I share that with my mother, she says, "Well, if we had sent you to dance school, then you would have sort of been molded by that. And what happened, because you had to do it yourself, you just this creativity just blossomed out of you, and it was your own unique expression."
Wow.
But
Beautiful.
that makes me, but that's also, I'm also grateful for that, because then it makes me really, I feel empathetic to people who feel like they couldn't pursue their passion earlier in their lives, or they feel like they can't pursue their passion because of familiar restrictions or cultural. And because I experienced it and I overcome it, it's like I can guide them. I can share with them my story in a way of inspiring them.
Fantastic. Well, we're gonna in just a little bit go and look at a little film clip of Banafsheh's. Again, she's got this whole program on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. It's called Sacred Dance with Banafsheh, and there are 5 programs on there. We're going to go to a little clip from one of them. But before we do that, I want to just kind of unfold this story, because your life and your journey are fascinating. So this, I know that the Divine Feminine is in the middle of all of this. So who is the Divine Feminine here, Banafsheh, for you? And how did you find her?
Can I take a little? Yeah. Can I take a little bit of time with that?
Please do. Yeah.
Jim, Steve, we've lived in a world that has been governed by the masculine archetype for at least the last 4,000 years or so, without a feminine archetype to balance it. And the devastations we find ourselves in are a result of this chasm that has led to our separation from our body, from nature, and from spirit. The oldest and most enduring image of the divine feminine is the goddess as the great mother. Humanity has imagined her as the immensity of the cosmic space, as the earth and as nature. She inspires and focuses a perception of the universe as an organic, alive, and sacred whole, in which humanity, the earth, and all life on earth participate as her children. She is the invisible dimension of the soul. We live within her being, yet know almost nothing about her. She's everything that is still unfathomed about the nature of the universe, matter, and the invisible energy that circulates through all the different aspects of her being. She spins and weaves the shimmering robe of life in which we live and through which we are connected to all cosmic life. And this is what today we call the quantum field. Having lost a manifest connection to the goddess for thousands of years, she's reemerging again in our psyches. She's initiating a crucial new phase in our evolution, urging us to discover a new ethic of responsibility toward our planet home, bringing us a new vision of the sacredness and unity of life. She is traditionally identified with birth, with beauty, wisdom, justice, harmony, and compassion. Yet she's also death and the irresistible power that destroys old forms and brings new ones into being. She is asking us to trust and protect life, to work with her in all we do, opening our understanding to the knowledge that we are not separate from her, but an expression of her being. She urges us to see her all around us, to hear her and feel her, and most importantly, to be her. She is our mother and speaks to us, each one of us in a different way. That's why there's so many representations of her. She comes in all forms and sizes, colors, and ages. She is nature and our nature. This is what I have to say about her.
Stunning. Yeah, stunning. And I mean, I haven't ever heard that description, but it fits with this whole divine description of just where there's this deep and abiding love that because how could you not have a deep and abiding love for her, you know, her/him. How did you find her, Banafsheh? What was that journey?
Well, you know, like many people, I was not taught any notions about the divine feminine by my family or culture, you know, because of what I shared with you earlier. But as far back as I can remember, she has guided my life. She has spoken to me primarily through nature and through dance, and communicated to others through my dance. But her presence became much more of a reality over time for me and very prominent starting about 8 years or so ago. I was guided to create a workshop called Dancing the Divine Feminine in 2014 and to lead it at Esalen Institute in California. My entryway to who she is was hours of weeping. I felt like I carried in my very cells her devastating journey as persecuted, slandered, burned, pillaged, and suppressed. I showed up as an absolute mess. I remember when I arrived to check in at Esalen bookstore, I met one of the old timers, someone who had led workshops there forever and ever. He was on his way out. We started speaking, and he asked me what I was going to teach. And I said, Dancing the Divine Feminine. He looked at me deeply and after a while said, good luck. I was literally crying up to our session and just had to surrender to her and say, you take over. And in our first evening session, we went around our room and I asked the participant, who is the divine feminine to you? And not a single person really knew how to answer that, Steve. But oh, did she show herself to us? Most of us experienced her through grief, though. She came up, she emerged as a consoler. And after that, I continued teaching this very theme, but it wasn't really until I went to Chartres in 2016 that my relationship with her became more defined, during my first 7 days in the cathedral of Chartres, I felt like I was shattered and then embraced and mended. It was like a constant dying to the old parts of me and a rebirth. And I stayed as long as I could, and my stay was filled with amazing synchronicities and guidance from Our Lady. During this time, I became a full devotee of a particular frequency of Our Lady that one experiences in Chartres, and like many, I called her Mother Mary. And in that year, she said, "See me." And in the following year, she said, when I was in Chartres, she said, "Be me." And then in the third year, she said, "Tell everyone to be me." And that's been what I've been doing with my dance, telling everyone to be her. That it's time that we embody what she represents, that our world needs it.
Oh my gosh. Well, then of course I have to ask you, and thank you, thank you for sharing those stories. Wow, that is just that is amazing what your journey has been, and then the journey that takes into becoming her, and now inviting others to become her. What is the as you're inviting others to become her? What do you share? How do you invite people to do that, Banafsheh?
Well, it goes back to what you were saying about the form dance of oneness, of how it is in 3 dimensions or 3 streams that come together: the movement, the wisdom teachings, and the healing. So as we explore her teachings, as we explore the teachings of the Divine Feminine through time, we journey into the different aspects of her. We journey into the Great Mother as Inanna, the Great Mother as Isis, the Great Mother as Mary, as well as all the other, many other representations. You can't really cover all of them. We journey into what Aphrodite represents, and all of them have different teachings for us. And when we explore these teachings through dance, trying to clear ourselves of our own dramas and of our own resistances, when we clear ourselves of these and really tune into what these teachings are and try to find them in ourselves, that's the way I guide us into becoming her, into being her, being the extensions of her. And for me, I feel she speaks to each one of us differently. So I always say to people, whatever deities, whatever representations of her really speak to you, listen to that and follow it deeply, and go to learn as much as you can from that particular representation. If, for example, we feel like Aphrodite really calls us, to find out more about her and to see what are the ways that she is guiding, and to really listen and intuitively pick up the guidance. And then, as I was saying, the third stream is healing, and then this becomes very healing. To embody the teachings and then to apply them to the different aspects of our lives that we feel so uncertainty or fear or weakness around. Does that make
Beautiful.
sense?
Oh, it does. It makes so much sense, and beautiful. And I'm just thinking, wow, now we need to go to a clip so that people can put what you cognitively shared together with your beautiful expression of what you just shared. So now we're going to go look at a video clip. It's from, again, her programs on Humanity Stream Plus are called Sacred Dance with Banafsheh, a Dance of Oneness Daily Practice Level 1 is what the clip comes from. And I'll just share Humanity Stream Plus for people that aren't familiar with it. It's a conscious streaming platform. It's revolutionary. There's actually nothing like it in the transformational education industry. It's intuitive, it's graphical, and it's one click. So we'll give you here, actually, I think we just put on the screen the URL, so you can go take a look at it, just browse this catalog. As you come down, you'll see Banafsheh's incredible programs there. So let's go take a look, and then we're going to talk more about this, this work of Banafsheh's. It's so beautiful.
Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Extend your arms and feel to the tips of your fingers. Bring your arms in and cross your hands on your heart center in the middle of your chest. Flow with your breath, inhaling from your nose, exhaling from your mouth throughout our session. Now close your eyes, sense the ground with your feet, and direct your energy down from your head, in case it's in your head, into the rest of your body, making an active transition from the outside world to the inner sanctuary, the presence in your body. Let's begin in reverence to life, this magnificent mystery that moves in us and through us, is all around us and is us. May our dance open your mind with awe for the profundity of life, and open your heart to love for life, so you can live this profound love in every cell of your body with joy and adoration, compassion and wisdom. Now open your eyes from this presence and bow down in reverence, going forward from your hips, staying flat back for a few seconds, and go down. Connect your crown with the earth and unfold your arms down. Hang here for a few seconds, letting the back of your legs come alive. Keep your knees extended to stretch the back of your legs. Now take a deep breath through your nose and exhale through your mouth, bending your knees. Flow with your breath and let your tailbone release down. Let the top of your head and shoulders release further down. Put your hands on top of your feet. Gently press your feet into the ground, letting your roots descend into the earth with reverence and gratitude. Slowly rise from this rootedness with a round back, soft knees, sequencing up your spine, letting your head be last to move up. Fly your arms up above your head. Take another deep breath in, and with your exhalation, begin to slowly bring your hands down. Flow with your breath. You're going to trace along the chakras, your energy centers. Feel the top of your head, your crown. Trace along the sixth chakra, your third eye pineal gland in the center of your head. Your throat, neck, heart center, abdomen, lower belly, hips, perineum. Fill up the volume of your legs. Feel your ankles, your feet, your roots in the earth.
Beautiful. And Banafsheh and I were talking before coming on the air. That is her home there. Wow, isn't that something? Right there in nature in Southern California. And I'm sorry, what's the name of the community again, Banafsheh?
It's called Topanga. It's the native lands of the Tongva people. It's the sacred lands of the
and it's
native tribe.
Sacred lands, and creatives live there. And what a community it looks like. Wow. So lucky you. And your dance, just so beautiful. You can see why you were called to it. You just have this whole, she is now expressing through you, is she not?
Yeah, but what you showed is what you showed. It was just is the way we start. So that particular chorus moves, of course, and gets much more active. But we start with an invocation and with establishing presence. So
Yes, I've
that's
seen
the
that program
kick
all
butt.
the way through, and it's stunning. Yeah, I mean, it's a real workout too, isn't it? It's a real energetic workout and beautiful expression of oneness, of love, of spirituality. It's really stunning.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's called, the program series is called Sacred Dance with Banafsheh Sayyad. And again, I'll tell you a little bit more about this platform, how you can find it, how you can go and look at the program. And it's with hundreds of other programs. So this new program with Greg Braden and Nassim Harriman called Forbidden Science, and this other new program with Michael Beckwith and Neil Donald Walsh called Discover Your Soul's Purpose. These are two of just hundreds of programs that are located here on the Humanity Stream Plus platform with Banafsheh's. Banafsheh's program is called Sacred Dance, and there are 5 different programs within her Sacred Dance series or offering, and it's stunning. By the way, there are a lot of questions coming in already here about dance and how people can express this. So we're going to get to those in just a little bit. You can see Jim Gray, who's here in the studio with me, as he's just scanning now these many different programs. You can see movies. You can see not only all of the embodied kinds of things, but science, spirituality, leadership, which goes into conscious entrepreneurship. There are hundreds of programs on this platform, and we're adding a new program every week right now. And the platform itself, called Humanity Stream Plus, is it's revolutionary, it's intuitive, it's graphical, it's one click. Now, also, it's called Humanity Stream Plus because we do offer all of these live events to subscribers. So right now, there's the Humanity Stream Plus room where people can come on camera and talk to Banafsheh. We set that room up every week for faculty. So people, subscribers can come on and talk to faculty. When we launch these programs, like with Greg and Nassim and Michael and Neil, there's a 60-minute live mentoring program. You're invited to the live mentoring programs. We do viewing parties where we view these programs. We do 2 a week right now. And there are lots of other live things coming. There are upgrades, like around Global Oneness Day. We offer all kinds of things that are a part of Humanity Stream Plus. They're all really to support you on your conscious journey, ourselves, to really come into the fullness of who we can be consciously. So then we can be an expression of that out in the world. Our vision in Humanity's team, and we're of course a nonprofit 501c3, is that 18 years from now, the conscious living is made pervasive worldwide. So this is by 2040. And then people say, well, how are you going to do that? And we say, glad you asked. We have this conscious streaming platform called Humanity Stream Plus. We're translating it now to Spanish. There are other languages we're working on. I'm announcing today for the first time, so I'm sure haven't heard this, we've just brought the price down now to $3.99, so about $100 down. So it's a very economical, where Banafsheh's program, these hundreds of other programs and live events are part of this. But also we're announcing today what we call a 1-for-1 program, and you might be familiar with those. So the way that works is when you buy a subscription of Humanity Stream Plus for yourself, then what you're also activating is a free subscription that we give to an underserved person out in the world. There's 40% of the world's population makes less than $2 a day. So it doesn't matter how economical the platform is, they're not going to have access to it. So it's a 1-for-1. When you buy your subscription, you give the gift of another subscription to an underserved person out in the world. So, and there are various demographics: incarcerated, women who've been have had challenges, have been oppressed in their relationships, veterans. There are various populations that we're reaching out to now with this 1-for-1 program. So, so this is the first time on air I've announced either of these things. check out Humanity Stream Plus. Go and view the catalog. And start out by going and looking at Banafsheh's programs because they're so beautiful. Again, Andrew Harvey is the person that led us to Banafsheh. And when we talk about living consciously, embodiment, expression of, as Banafsheh shares, of the divine feminine, of the one, is such a beautiful, important, powerful practice spiritually, emotionally, physically, right? It feeds all parts of ourself, does it not?
Yes, yes. That's the gift of dance. It's so unifying. It's when you compare dance to other forms of exercise, you see that it actually integrates so much of ourselves. It integrates the mind, heart, and the body, and it really literally makes us feel how it really connects us with our soul. I feel sacred dance is a key practice to unifying body and soul, to feel that body and soul are one, and to sort of go beyond the duality of the two. Everything just kind of comes into oneness. You literally start to feel how everything is interconnected. You literally feel it in your own body when you dance with that intention, of course.
Yeah, intention is so important. Boy, beautiful, because of course in the afterlife, as we know, we submerge into the one, we melt back into the one fully, and then we come back out as we live our next life expression. So what you're talking about,
the invitation is to experience. Yeah, the invitation is to do that now.
Right,
now.
right. Oh, beautiful. And you have such a beautiful way of doing that now, Banafsheh. So this is one of the questions that's come in, and I know you've already talked about this a little bit. She says, this is from Cindy, and she says, what is your personal experience of communing with the divine through dance? What does it feel like for you? And what does it look like for you?
That's a beautiful question, Cindy. It goes back to how Steve introduced me as combining trance and directed movement. It goes back to that. I basically let go. I let go of the boundaries of my body. I let go of my identity in a way. I surrender to the greater. And what happens is that, like we were just speaking, I sort of melt and dissolve into this greater energy. And then I become an expression of that. That's one way I commune. But I have to say that in order to come to that, in order to dance my way to that, I first really feel my physicality. I really go into the physicality. And for me, the movement initially is very rigorous. And so through rigorous movement and really coming into embodying my physicality, then I slowly just let go and surrender. And then I'm literally danced. And then, so it feels like there's no me and this energy that I'm a part of. So it all becomes one.
And I've watched your programs, and I have to say, I can see that. You're just lit up, and just it's like your crown chakra is wide open, and you've just become an expression of it. And just like you said in the introduction, you're so precise but so abandoned. I mean, which is kind of seems like an oxymoron, but it's not.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in one or the other. I'm not interested in complete abandon. I want to be able to channel that energy in my life and be of service in the world, expand it in the world. So for that to happen, you need to be actually quite alert and present. And so when I say precision or directed movement, that's what I'm referring to. So that it's not just one or the other. Sometimes, with dance, it's a real discipline. You want to be very precise and to develop that ability to have precision and to try to do things, in a perfect way. But to bring them together is what I'm interested in. So it's not just one or the other. And for example, when I'm dancing, it looks like I'm completely surrendered, and I am, but I can stop and not lose my balance. For example, I'm turning very quickly, and then I just stop and without losing balance, which is saying that I'm able to be in both places of that total surrender and here now.
Yeah, yeah. And again,
Does
I
that
can
make
see
sense
that.
to you?
It does, because I've watched your program. And again, let me share, on streaming platforms, of course, one, it's one click. So you can just move through programs so quickly and easily. There's not a 7-step process. Two is you can use Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Pay, Apple TV. My wife and I like to use Roku TV, which is, by the way, it's only $12.99. If you don't have Roku, you can buy it on Amazon for $12.99, a little Roku stick, and you can watch Banafsheh's program right from the comfort of your bedroom or living room or wherever you put your Roku device. Other people like Amazon. Again, any device brings in these streaming platforms, and you can just be a whole lot more relaxed, where you're taking in, a Neil and Michael program, a Greg and Nassim program, or dance, where, I think it was a Friday night, we were just sitting there watching all of your beautiful dance, going, wow, what a artistic, beautiful, spiritual, loving expression. That's all the things that you're putting into words. It's both precise and it's abandoned. It's just exactly the way you describe it. Okay, so now coming from the Stream Plus room, so Alan says, watching humanity stream is a bit addictive. So he's clearly having a good time watching you here on this program today, Banafsheh. And then Alan shares, so he says, Dr. Bruce Perry from Bai, who was raised as a dog, uses music and movement as tools to heal the kiddos who have experienced trauma. So interesting. So it's talking about how music and movement can be healing for a family. I'm sure you've heard this before.
Oh yeah, definitely. It puts you, it lets you, it makes you be able to release memories that are traumatic. You sort of lift yourself up into this more joyous state and are able to release those memories. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
And through movement, releasing what is stored in our cells, the cellular memory of traumatic events. Absolutely possible. I see it all the time.
So there's a lot of comments here. One that was up earlier, and I don't see it right this second, but it was, I'm sure, a common one, where the person said, boy, this looks beautiful. I'm drawn to it. Okay, here we go. We're just now coming up. And I've never really, oh yeah, I'm not a good dancer. Here it is. It's from Courtney. I'm not a good dancer. Where should I begin to start a movement practice? I bet you must get this question a lot too.
I do get this question a lot, and it actually hurts me a little bit when people say I'm not a good dancer. It's like, well, give yourself a chance, and it's not like you need to become anyone else. You don't need to dance like me or Baryshnikov. Dance like yourself. Allow yourself the joy and the freedom that dance brings. And yes, I get this question all the time, and we are lucky to be able to do this online and in the comfort of your own home, so no one else sees you, right? Because when we say we're not a good dancer, it's because others may be looking and judging, right? So it's different from going to a dance, an in-person dance workshop or session. No one's looking, you're just dancing for you and connecting with the beloved. And where to begin? Yeah, that daily practice is a mixed level course. It's for beginners and people who've had a lot of background in movement. I myself do this practice every day, of course, with other movements that I put in that are more rigorous and more advanced. But this practice is the basis of what I myself do every day. So it's mixed levels. It's for everyone. Everyone can benefit from it.
Yes.
And then the
So a
other
couple.
ones that I have on the platform are a little bit more, they would come after the daily practice.
Yeah, talk about those if you would, because you've got 5 programs on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. They're stunning. Yeah, can you share a little more about each of the programs? So, because I'd really like to invite viewers to go check them out. They're really stunning.
We have the whirling dance of the heart, which is the turn, which is the whirling practice, the Sufi practice, and that one is just in 2 sessions. So very basic introductory steps of how do you do the whirling without getting dizzy? How do you enter into this movement meditation that literally helps you experience the oneness? You know, everything is turning, everything is spinning. You know, you mentioned Nassim Haramein. He talks about how everything that matter itself has come into existence through a spin. Everything is spinning. So it must be so profound to step into the spin consciously and see what that brings for you. Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi, who so many of us love around the world, became who he is through the whirling. All the beautiful poetry, love poetry of his that we love so much, flowered from him, fountained through him as he was whirling. And it shows the amazing power of this practice that it puts us directly in touch with the creative source of all that is. And it creates heart and head coherence, because the poetry that flowered through him is in perfect rhyme and meter in Persian. Every line ends with the same, same syllable, same ending. Amazing that he was just whirling and this poetry just came through him like that. It's a direct example of what this practice brings, which is really an astounding practice. So I invite you to check that one out, because I know a lot of people get concerned about getting dizzy. So this is a way I've broken it down into very simple steps so that you can maintain the turn.
Yes, and I think there's so much more. You know, we're just kind of getting to a little tip of the iceberg as we're describing these 5 programs that are on Humanity Stream Plus, aren't we? Here.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things. Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Banafsheh?
No, the other programs are a bit longer. So it's moving through the chakras, step by step, embodying each chakra and the teachings of each chakra to come into wholeness, basically, and the different dance forms that correspond to the different chakras, the different movement styles. Because I take people through elements of flamenco, of tai chi, of the whirling, Persian dance. All of these kind of combine together and address a different aspect of ourselves and a different chakra.
Yeah, they're stunning. So one of the things that occurs to me as you've been sharing is 2 of the things that you've been sharing are so important to your practice. Are one, where we're just really coming into the fullness of ourself in what this expression is, where we're unencumbered or unrestrained by social pressures. We really, this is uniquely us. And then the other is where we kind of deepen that and go down into this fullness of expression where, as you share, this is actually our invitation ourselves to be an expression of the divine feminine, where we're just so tunneled down into the fullness of what is coming through, what we're feeling, what that expression is, that we embody it, and each person in our own beautiful way. And now, these things are also staples of the conscious journey, even outside of dance. As we know, everybody watching here is conscious. So if we were caught up in the normal social pressures of the world, we wouldn't be on a conscious journey, because especially in the Western world, it's very much of a materialistic pursuit. And that's kind of where the social pressures are. As we become conscious, it's all about life, being an expression of life, following our true passion to our true station in life. And social pressures just don't get in our way. We understand this is really the life that we're to live. This is who we're to be. And then when we give it full expression, when we're living consciously, that's kind of what, as I perceive it, in what your work you do, Banafsheh, where you were invited to not only become it fully, but then to invite other people to become it fully, where others are called like you to dance as a form of expression, of oneness, of love, of spirituality, of life.
Yes, a form of embodying love, basically, because everything, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we're pursuing, embodiment is key, Steve. As long as you are in this body, you're meant to be in this body consciously. To be in the body and conscious, says Rumi, is pure rapture. Just to be in the body and conscious. And I understand that sometimes we feel like, oh, there's too much pain, there's too much this and that. So we shun, we run away from embodiment. And then what dance does is that it kind of lures you in because you forget those things for a moment. The music, the movement, the environment helps you forget those things for a moment, and then you become more and more embodied, and then you realize, oh wait, actually there was nothing to be afraid of. Wait, I can actually dance my way through the pain, and then the pain ends up going away. I really believe in the healing power of movement. I myself, whenever I have any aches and pains, I dance them away. I move them away. I move them out. I work through them through movement. So that's my invitation. That's my invitation to everyone to realize that the healing. We know that we have healing power, but to really exercise it, to really use it, and use it through movement.
And now, doesn't it also? It just feels to me like in your relationships, so with your partner, with friends, with family, this must just deepen relationships in a profound way too. Am I right about that?
Definitely, because you're not just in your head. Most of us are just in our head, Steve, and we need to consciously let that energy flow down into the rest of our body, and to literally feel we're in our bodies. And when we do that, we're able to come more and more into our heart space. And then, so you're interacting with people from a more integrated place in yourself. It's not just the head, which compared to the rest of the body is so small, so that our capacity is so much less when we're just in our heads. But that's what we are, the worldview that we've sort of inherited, which is that the mind is superior to everything else, and somehow there's this place that's purer than the earth, and then we want to transcend to this place, and all of that leads to not really being fully in the body, which, by the way, is infinite. The body is not limited. The body, to me, is actually the expression of the soul. There is no difference. It is the material aspect of our soul. It's pure energy, right? It's only 0.00001% matter. And as physicists like Nassim tell us, and that very small amount of matter is also energy, right? So how to come more in touch with that is the invitation for our next level of being, to truly step into being divine humans.
Yes, it is. So, Banafsheh, let me say, boy, we've got questions pouring in. We're not going to be able to get to all of these before the end of the hour, but let me just bring in some here. Haley says, I have 3 young children who want to know what mommy is doing. She's watching your program right now. How can I explain to them what I am doing? They are 4, 6, and 8 years old.
Oh, well, you can say to them, I'm dancing to embody love, to embody more of myself, which is love, and invite them in. I find that when children that age like something, it's a good sign. It's a real confirmation. So invite them in. In my in-person workshops, sometimes we have children joining their mothers, and it's a joy. They love it.
Yeah, Haley, let me share too. So on Humanity Stream Plus, there are these 5 programs of Banafsheh's, and I can assure you, your 4, 6, and 8-year-old will fall in love with Banafsheh and perhaps dancing and the expression of love there. Okay, so now Mark brings in. Would you please tell us a little more about Chartres? You talked about that earlier as part of your journey here.
Sure, Mark. So Chartres, France, the city that is very close to Paris, and the Chartres Cathedral is in Chartres. This location is one of the vortices of the planet, really. And on this vortex, this cathedral was erected that Joseph Campbell called the womb of the world. So this is an area, and especially the cathedral itself, where it is standing, where you can access very easily the energy of the divine feminine, and it has been like that from time immemorial. And that's one reason the cathedral was built there, that there was a sense that this place is really potent. And the cathedral is considered the home of Mary on earth, actually dedicated to the risen Mary, to the Mary who rose with her body into light. So it's really like a resurrection machine when you go there. It's really transformative. And it so happens that we will be going there this year. We haven't for the past 2 years because of the pandemic, but this year we will be going there in August. And actually Andrew is also one of the faculty. So August 13th through 19th is this workshop that we're having, or pilgrimage actually, that is called Venus Rising.
Venus Rising sounds like something to Google, everybody. So, wow, fantastic. Andrew Harvey and Banafsheh Sayyad taking you there.
Oh, and Eve Ensler, actually, also. Eve Ensler is going to be there.
Eve Ensler, so wow. That sounds, what a joyous occasion that'll be. Nice way to come out of COVID.
Okay, so yes.
Here, I can get to maybe 1 or 2 other questions. So this is an interesting question. This is from Shirley. She says, do you think it was the divine feminine who inspired you into the discipline of your practice in the early years? So just if we go all the way back to when this first inspiration came to you, was this the divine feminine knocking on your door, so to speak?
That's a great question. Yes, probably. It was like, come on, let's get you ready. You're going to be one of my messengers. Let's get you going. Probably. And to have that in this deep patriarchal culture, which is my culture, unfortunately, was a blessing, I think.
Yeah, no kidding, boy. And now here you're reaching out to people all over the world. I'm sure there are people in Iran and in the Middle East that now follow your work from where you live in California, right? I'm sure you have.
Definitely.
You have fans all over the world.
Yeah, and actually, it's very important for me to help with women liberating themselves, women and men liberating themselves, especially in the Middle East, especially in Iran, in Afghanistan. So I'm always sending energy that way, and I'm always inviting people to join at whatever, no matter what their financial situation is, just like you are doing in Humanities Team, which is wonderful.
Beautiful. So Alan, he's one of the Humanities Stream members. We've got a room for the stream members. He says your movement is a way to show appreciation and love for your body temple, ? So that's actually a question movement is a way to show appreciation and love for your body temple? That's one dimension of this?
Yes, Alan, thank you. Yes, it is to show appreciation for your body temple and to praise life, praise being alive. It's like it's a real devotional expression of, a deep thank you, a deep praising of aliveness.
Okay, I'm going to bring in one more question because we did start a little late, so we'll go a little late here, and then we'll share some things here as we're wrapping up our program. So this is from Catherine. She says, how do I know the divine feminine is speaking to me and not just my mind?
But why wouldn't you trust that, Catherine? Your mind may be an extension of the divine feminine. That's how she's talking to you. Why wouldn't you trust that? What I was saying earlier, and I'll say again, is that whatever appeals to you of her representations, and nature is one big representation of the divine feminine, follow it. That's how she's talking to you, is what I believe. Follow that, really connect deeply. I hope that answers
Beautiful.
your question, Catherine.
Thank you, Banafsheh. I'm going to bring in Andy. We'll get the final question. He says, what does the dance of oneness mean to you?
The dance of oneness to me means coming into oneness in ourselves, integrating the many fragmented aspects of ourselves, and then coming into oneness with the greater existence, and coming into oneness with the beloved, and then becoming a channel of that oneness in the world, creating unity, unifying as much as possible, as often as we can, instead of a separation, creating unity. Making unity that already is the reality of our existence more and more obvious, more and more apparent in the consciousness of all beings.
And we've referenced Nassim Haramein here a number of times during this program. He is the leader in unified physics. He's also in Southern California, not too far from where you live, Banafsheh. And boy, if you haven't studied his work, study it, because it is clear where Einstein left off, Nassim has picked up that work, and his research with the people that study math and science. He's got a whole campus full of people that work with him, and it's stunning what his research shares. We are all one, that everything from quantum scale to cosmological objects, everything is deeply interconnected. It's one, it's energy, it's swirling energy, as Banafsheh has shared. It's actually love. It's conscious, it's alive. So you might want to study that. And then, it's affirmation. All of us on the conscious journey understand we're deeply interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent, that we're actually an expression of the one. And Nassim's science just puts a foundation under that and just says this is how the mechanics of oneness works. He likes to share his work actually as a guide or a map into the universe and how it works. It's incredible. So, and then as we understand how it works, then it's time to put it to work, to become an expression of it, such as what Banafsheh is doing with her incredible dance and movement. So check out her programs. There are 5 of them. Check out the program, Sacred Dance with Banafsheh Sayyad. They're on Humanity Stream Plus. The program just here in the last couple days, we've now offering it at $3.99. It's about $100 off. And there's a 1-for-1. So when you buy it for yourself to live a more holistic lifestyle, to become more conscious, to, in this case, bring love into expression, into movement, you're also creating a free subscription for somebody underprivileged, underserved, who would no way be able to afford a subscription. We're bringing them one subscription for each one that you purchase. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Our whole objective, it's not top line and bottom line growth. It's creating this conscious world, this conscious humankind that not only takes beautiful care of ourselves and all of humankind, but the earth, as we've been sharing during this program, animal life, plant life. The one includes all life on the planet. So, hey, let's create this conscious humankind, this conscious planet. Let's nurture ourselves, support our holistic lifestyles. That's what this program has all been about. I want to, Banafsheh, thank you so much for joining me as my special guest here during the hour. What a beautiful person you are, and your artistic expression is just stunning. Thank you for the work that you do in the world. Thank you for these programs that are hosted on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. I want to shout out also to the people that support you, Banafsheh and me. I'll go first so you can think about who you want to bring in. So I mentioned Jim Gray, Karen Gordon. These are the two people on our team at Humanity's team. We can pull the camera back. You can see Jim here in our studio. There's Jim over there with me, our little studio here in Boulder. Jim, thanks for making the program seamless. Karen Gordon also puts a lot of work. Andy, who works with her, Dee Meyer, Noah, Garth Catterall, Nanette Kennedy. So thank you to all of the members of our team that create this program. I get to just sit here and have a beautiful time with Banafsheh. And Banafsheh, do you have anybody you want to thank on your team?
Well, I want to thank everyone who's watching. I want to thank you, Steve, and your team. And yes, of course, I want to thank my team, Yatsinta, Gabor, Mohammed Balek, and everybody, all my students who are so dedicated. I'm so grateful to you, and I'm dedicated to your growth and to your expansion into this oneness.
Yes, and we join you in that, Banafsheh. Boy, we are here to support you in this oneness, in this unity consciousness, in this whole expression of love and life, which is what it's all really one and the same thing. So viewers, thank you for being here with us during today's live program. Been super exciting. I want to wish you just a fabulous rest of the day and weekend. Jim, do we have a slide on next week's program? So we'll put it up. We come to you live every Friday, and has sure been a blast here being with Banafsheh today. We've got Shlomo with us, fantastic. He is coming to you live, I think, from Israel. He's actually a member of the Israeli parliament, a judge, and he's created a conscious leadership program that's astounding. So I know you'll enjoy that program. Be sure to join us here next Friday. We start at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. We'll have a blast with you next week. So a final hug and goodbye to you, Banafsheh, our dear friend and partner. Thanks for being here, and look forward to having you back again soon.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined today.
Okay, love and peace and blessings, you all. Yeah.